By 2011, Emma O'Farrell was busily settled into her new life as a wife and mother of 2 active children. She was also 20 years into a life of shadows and deception, as an invasive eye condition known as keratoconus had forced Emma into devious ways to hide the fact that everything in her life had become a blur. It was only while driving her daughter to an appointment and along the way mistaking a roadside mailbox for a child that Emma finally realized her condition was life-threatening to herself and to those around her.
For me to see the television, and this started at the age of 18, the only way I could get to focus my eyes was to push my left cheek up.
Show me.
Right here.
Why?
If I do that right now, I can see you.
But it's blocking your vision.
No. It's making my vision better.
How? I don't understand that.
What it's doing, the only thing I can describe it is what it's doing is it's pushing on the cornea, it's pushing on the eye, and it's making it focus.
Oh.
It's pushing it into where...
Because it doesn't do it naturally because of the shape.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I...
Squint.
Yeah, but I squint really bad.
Did your husband know?
He didn't know how severe it was until I came home and told him about the mailbox. And it scared me when I told my husband, I can't do this anymore. I need to do something about it. So we started researching on what could be done, and we'd heard of this doctor, and his name was Dr. Boxer Wackler, down in California, that did this procedure for keratoconus.
And what did the procedure involve?
Well, it involved, the only thing I can describe it as, he attached something to the eye that helped to control the cone. And it was like an implant. At that point, it was going to cost $20,000. We don't have that. So I researched and I contacted the place, and they said for you to be considered for this procedure, you need to have an up-to-date eye test. So I went back to what then was my new doctors at the U of M Kellogg Eye Center, and I went for a new eye test so that I could send it away to this doctor to see if I would qualify. And we were thinking all different things. We'd have to raise money, we would have a fundraiser to raise money for me to go down there. And when I went for the eye test, I basically got told right there on the spot I wouldn't qualify. My eyesight was too far gone for that procedure. So I thought...
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you at this point?
38.
So you hear someone say to you,
mm-hmm.
the only thing that you know of that's going to help you regain some vision can't help you because your eyes are too far gone.
Too far gone.
Your immediate reaction?
I was close to tears, and
which I think for you is probably a big deal, right?
Very big deal.
Yeah.
And I remember my husband thinking, "Oh, what now?" And at that time, the doctor said, "Just hold on, though. Wait here. I'll be right back." And he left the room.
And that's all he says?
That's all he said.
And so do you and your husband have conversation, or is it just...
It's just kind of silent, like, what are we going to do? And it was just, well, we'll see what he says.
Do you remember the first thing that went through your mind when he said that? Can you remember that?
Yeah, loss of hope. Yeah. The first thing went through my mind was, well, that's it.
What does that mean?
Basically, it just, to me, meant there was nothing else I could do, and this is how I was going to be. I was never going to wear contact lenses again. Glasses didn't work because my eyesight was too far gone. And I said, oh, well, this is life. That's what kind of flashed through my mind. When it came to the time of telling my mom the news, I remember my mom being upset. I remember my mom crying on Skype. And I asked my mother-in-law to be there with me when I told my mom because it was a big step to take. So I told my mom that this is what I was looking to do, was go to California and get this fixed and everything. And when we got the news that my eyesight was too far gone, one thing that went through my mind was, I got to tell my mom. And my mom was already upset because I had told her this heart-wrenching story of not being able to see for 4 years. And through those 4 years, it was hard for me to even read to my kids, but I kind of read books that I knew by heart so that they wouldn't know.
So the doctor says, hang on, I'll be back.
And he came back into the room 10, maybe 15 minutes later, and he said, I want to introduce you to somebody, come with me. So we both went with him, and he introduced me to this specialist, Dr. Karen DeLoss. And I remember shaking her hand, and my husband shaking her hand, and we're just kind of, who is this, And she explained who she was.
What does she look like to you that day? Like, what's your memory?
She just had a very kind of warm aura around her. It was one thing that I remember. She was very sweet, very softly spoken. I mean, the way that I see you right now, I can't really distinctly make your face out, and that was what I remember about her. She sounded nice. So she took us into her room, and she explained what she could do. She explained about these special lenses called PROS lenses.
And how is it she knew about this and yet you hadn't heard? I mean, she's in your backyard, right?
She was new to the Kellogg Eye Center at University of Michigan. At that point, there was only about maybe five other states that did it.
So she tells you what? She can do what?
She told me that not all hope is lost. And she introduced me to then what was the PROS lenses, or what is the PROS lenses. And she explained what they do and what they could do for me.
Okay, tell us.
What they basically could do for me is restore my vision and basically save me from getting a cornea transplant.
And did you believe her?
No.
Did you tell her that?
Not in so many words. But my husband had a few questions to where, what's the procedure? What do we do?
And what does it cost?
And what does it cost?
Was there an answer?
Yes.
How much?
A lot. Thousands. We went home and we thought about it, and short from getting a cornea transplant, which if that doesn't take, can only be done so many times before you're done.
And what's the cost of a cornea transplant? I can't even imagine that.
I never looked into that because it was something that I really didn't want to venture into, because I didn't want a transplant. I didn't want to be in medication the rest of my life.
Why do you have to do that?
To help stabilize
the cornea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did she give you any kind of a percentage? Okay, we can do this, and I'll give you a 50-50 chance of it working, or?
No, she could guarantee it would work.
Why did you even hesitate?
I guess because nothing else had worked.
But had anyone else told you that it would work?
No. This was a new thing that had come to the University of Michigan.
Do you know now how long she'd been there before you met her? Had she been there? You said she was reasonably new.
Yeah. It was never really something that I asked.
But it just seems so interesting that when you had a need,
mm-hmm.
this person was there where you needed her.
I strongly believe, and I have done basically ever since I really met my husband, I strongly believe that people walk into your life for a reason. Things happen for a reason. I was losing hope because these contact lenses weren't working. I had wanted to go and get this procedure, this implant done, because I thought that was what was going to work, that was what was going to fix me and fix my eyes, and I could get on with my life. And then that was taken away from me too, and all hope was lost. And then all of a sudden, whoever it is that sent her my way knew that I needed an answer. I needed something.